Hello there, my name is Beth Gaff and I'm the Media Literacy Coordinator here at the Peabody Public Library. And first off, I want to let you know that this class is geared to go at your pace, which means you can stop this, minimize this, go away from this, and come back to it at any point. You are not locked in. You don't have to sit in one setting and watch the entire class, which is kind of nice. Also, if you're a part of the Computer Class Pass Incentive Program, you want to be listening for your secret code inside this class, get that to me by either calling me, emailing me, or coming to see me, and then you're on your way to some prizes. So without further ado, I want to welcome you to Learning Gmail. Before we actually get into the Gmail portion of the class, first I want us to get to know Google a little bit. Google is probably best known as a search engine since that's how it started out, but today Google provides many different services you can use to perform various tasks at home or at work. To use these services like Gmail or Google Calendar, you need to make sure that you have a Google account in place. This way it will save your settings and your data. So in this class we're going to talk about a lot that involves Gmail, and we're also going to talk about a lot of the Google services. So once you create a Gmail account, you've got a lot of options available to yourself, and that's what we're going to talk about in the next few slides. You may have conducted a Google search before. Actually, you probably have, and you've probably done this 1,000 times. But you may also use the Google News search, the image search, the maps, or the translate. But Google has many, many services you can use. In order to use them, you'll first need to sign up for the Google account. So let's take a look at this picture, what you can do with Google. Google is more than just a search engine. With its ever-growing list of products and services, there's almost no limit to what you can do with a Google account. So here we can see all of the different options that we have. Google offers you Google Docs, which allows you to create documents, edit spreadsheets, build and share presentations. You also have Google+, which adds circles, forms groups, and stays connected. You've got the Google Calendar, which saves your dates for you, shares your calendars, and stays organized. Of course, you got the Gmail, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this class, and that allows you to filter messages, save contacts, and communicate on the go. YouTube, a lot of people didn't know that YouTube was designed through Google. Google is the proud owner of YouTube, and there you can watch and share videos, create playlists, and upload your own videos. You've also got the Blogger, which allows you to create a blog, write posts, and be heard. You've got your Google Wallet. This is able to make mobile payments. You can shop online, and you can keep those payments secure. You've also got Picasa, which allows you to edit pictures, share albums. Within the Google Docs, you've also got your forms, which allows you to do surveys. You also got web design, which is called Sites, and so on. And of course, Android is automatically linked to Google. If you have an Android device, then you know you probably already have a Gmail account and you're using it. If you don't have an Android, then this class is going to be perfect for you, and it's going to be perfect for you even if you do have an Android, because it's going to let you know a lot of the information that is involved with Gmail. But this is just some of the services that are available to you, and there are many, many more that are completely available to you, and I'm going to show that to you in the next slide. Here are even some more popular Google services. This is actually all of the Google services that would be offered to you by just having a Gmail account. It used to be back in the day that in order to get a Gmail account, you actually had to know somebody that had one that was part of a business or a corporation or something along those lines. But now it's so popular that everybody's got one. So this is just a complete search. Of course, you've got your Google web search that allows you just to do those quick searches on your devices. Of course, you've got Google Chrome, which is a browser that is built for speed and security. You've got a toolbar, which allows you to have more options within Google. You have your bookmarks, which allows you to access certain items within your internet while you're on there. Of course, you got that mobile section that allows you to search for on the mobile. You've got the maps for mobile. and you're probably familiar with Google Maps. The business portion of it, you've got a Google Cloud platform. You can build and host applications and websites, store and analyze data on Google's sites. You've also got the Google Apps Work for You. You can get emails, docs, storage, and more. And then, of course, you've got your media. That's going to be your YouTube, your books, your news, Picasa, Google Play Store that gets you those apps on those devices, your image search and your video search. Of course, we've got Google Maps, Google Earth. You've got your specialized searches. You've got your blog search, your patent search, your finances, your trends, custom search, Google Shopping, Scholar. Those are all going to be scholarly type information. You've got your home and office, your Gmail, your docs, your slides, your drawings, your calendar, voice, Google Cloud Print, your Drive, Sheets, Forms, Sites, Translate, Google Wallet, and Google Keep. And, of course, you've got your social area, which is going to be your Google+, which is real-life sharing, your groups, you've got a blogger, and then, of course, the Hangouts. That is a messaging service through Google. So look at everything that you can get by just having a Gmail account. I do have a stream class out there about Google, so if you want to know a little bit more about each one of these items, you can kind of take a look at that class. But I just wanted you to be aware of all of the stuff that you can get by having a Gmail account. I thought this picture was kind of fun, so I went ahead and included it in our class. If you're curious about just how many Google products there are, you can see a complete list in this image. It tells you all of the different kinds of Google products and services that are out there. So by having a Gmail account, you would have access to all of these. So just take a minute here and look at this and see all of the different options that you have available to yourself by just having a Gmail account. Okay, so now the fun's going to start. We're going to get right into Gmail. And this section here, we're going to talk about setting up a Gmail account. Setting up a Gmail account is easy. You'll begin by creating a Google account, and during the quick sign-up process, you will choose your Gmail account name. In this class, I'm going to show you how to set up your Google account for Gmail, add and edit contacts, and edit your mail settings. Actually, in this slide, we're just going to talk about how we can get ourselves signed up. So to create a Gmail address, you'll first need to create a Google account. Gmail will redirect you to a Google account sign-up page. You'll need to provide some basic information like your name, your birth date, your gender, and your location. You will also need to choose a name for your new Gmail address. Once you create an account, you'll be able to start adding contacts and adjusting your mail settings. So to create an account, you would go to www.gmail.com. And you can see that I have it typed up there for you. And once you're in there, then you would click on Create an Account. And that's that first picture. To sign up, the sign-up form will appear, and you follow the directions and enter the required information, such as your name, birth date, and gender. And you can see that in the information once you get signed up. So finally, you want to review those terms of service and the privacy, and you click the checkbox, and then you're on to the next stop, or the next step rather. Choose how you appear across Google by creating a public Google Plus profile, include a photo, and you can update it anytime. To create your profile page, you would click Add a Photo. If you wish to add a photo to your Google Plus profile, you don't want to set a photo profile at this time, you can just click Next Step. You don't have to do that right now. And just like with any other online service, it's important to choose a strong password. In other words, one that is difficult for someone to guess. So if you want more information about how you can do that, you might want to check online for password tips. But having a very strong password is really important. That way nobody else can have access to your account. So summing it up, you would go to gmail.com. You would click on Create an Account. You would fill out the necessary information. Go ahead and create that username for yourself, or your Gmail, if you will. Add that password. Make sure it's really strong. You want to agree to their terms, or you're not going to be able to do it. And then from there, you can actually go in and change your photo. If you don't want to change your photo, then you could click on Next Step, and there you go. You've created your Gmail account. So why don't you right now go ahead and pause this video, go to gmail.com, and kind of take a look at what I'm talking about. If you're not ready to commit yet on Gmail, at least take a look at it and see what might be stopping you from doing it. Gmail is a really great place to get your email, plus you get all those benefits of having an account. So go ahead right now and just take a look at Gmail. Okay, so now that you have created your account, or at least taken a look at the process of creating your account, now you want to learn how to sign in and out of your Gmail account. So when you first create your account, you'll be automatically signed in. Most of the time, however, you'll need to sign in to your account and then sign out when you're done with it. Signing out is especially important if you're using a shared computer. For example, being at the library or at the office, because it prevents other people from viewing your emails. So to sign in, you would go to www.gmail.com and type in your username, which is that email address you created, and the password, and then you would click sign in. Now to sign out, in the top right corner of the page, you would click your name and then select sign out. Occasionally, you may want to make adjustments to Gmail's appearance or behavior. For example, you could create a signature or a vacation reply, edit your labels, or change the theme. These adjustments can be made from your mail settings. And we are going to be seeing a video here in a little bit that's actually going to show you how to get in there and do those mail settings. But this is just about signing in and signing out of your account. So since you've created that Gmail, go ahead right now and go in and sign yourself out if you're still signed in, and re-sign yourself in and sign yourself out. Just get yourself familiar with signing in and out of Gmail. Now I'd like to talk to you about your Gmail interface. When you're working with Gmail, you'll mostly be using the main Gmail interface. This window contains your inbox. It allows you to navigate your contacts, mail settings, and more. Also, if you use other Google services such as YouTube or Calendar, you'll be able to access them from the top of the Gmail window. So here I have displayed for you the interface of Gmail. So we're just going to kind of go through these little gold dots and find out what they mean. This one here is the Gmail drop-down. This menu allows you to navigate to your mail contacts in your task list. If you're ever lost, you can just click the Gmail option to go back to the default view. This section up here is your other Google services. Signing up for Google automatically creates a Google account, giving you access to other Google services like Drive, Calendar, and more at the top of the screen. And you can see those all listed right here for you. And we actually talk about some of those Google services within this class. Actually, we've already spoken about them, so you're familiar with those. This is your search box. If you're having trouble finding an important email, you can start typing the search box to find it. Right over here is going to be your gear icon or your settings. So whenever you want to change your settings, simply click the gear icon and select settings. You can also select help if you're having troubles. This one here is your action buttons. They're located just above the inbox. When no message is selected, the available actions are select all and refresh. When a message is selected, several buttons will appear above the inbox. You can use these options including archive, report spam, and delete to help organize your messages. This here is your left menu pane. The left menu pane allows you to compose a new mail, navigate to your mail, view your sent mail, and manage your labels and more. This section down here is your inbox. This is where you would get those received messages, and you would click on them to read them. And this area here is your labels, and this allows you to organize those messages in your inbox. You can apply more than one label to any message and create new labels to organize your messages in any way that you would like. You can also choose colors for your labels and help them stand out. And we're going to talk about all of these features in this class today. I just wanted you to be familiar with the Gmail interface. Okay, so now I want to talk to you about Gmail settings. To get into those Gmail settings, you would click on that gear icon in the top right corner of the page and select Settings. From here you can select the category that you want to edit, and we can see that you can choose your theme and so forth and so on. So if you don't like the way that it's set up, you can actually go in there and you can change it yourself. In the next section, we're actually going to be talking about adding contacts, but I wanted you to be familiar with the Gmail settings. So once you're in there, you'll have, within your settings, you've got your general, your labels, your accounts, your filters, your forwarding, your chat, your web clips, your labs, your inbox, your offline, and then your themes. So pretty much everything that you want to do as far as setting up your Gmail, you would be doing in your settings. So go ahead right now and minimize this video. Go up to where that gear wheel is in the right upper corner and kind of get yourself familiar with the settings and changing that theme around, and go ahead and click on those tabs within your settings just to kind of see what some of your options are. Now that you're a little bit more familiar with your Gmail, you've got it all created, you've looked at your settings, now let's talk about adding some contacts. List all major email providers. Gmail lets you keep an address book of contacts so that you don't have to memorize everyone's email address. You can also add other contact info such as phone numbers, birthdays, and physical address. So to add a contact, you would click on the Gmail drop-down menu, and there I've got a picture for you, which is going to be right above that inbox. And from there you would select on New Contact. Once you select on the new contact, a screen's going to come up. And here's where you're going to be able to type in that person's name, their email address. You can also type additional contact information if desired. All changes that you make will be saved automatically. In the left menu pane, you would click on My Contacts, and then click on Contact if you would like to edit that contact. You can now make any changes that you want to the contact. So by default, when you send an email to a new address, Gmail adds the address to your contacts. You can then go to your contacts to edit the person's information as needed. So if you're wanting to import mail and contacts, you may already have a contact list from another email address, and if you, it would be a lot of work to re-enter all that information manually. So Gmail allows you to import your contacts from another email account, and you can even import all of your email messages from that account. Many different email providers are supported, such as Yahoo, Hotmail, and AOL. So to add other contact accounts, you would click on that gear icon in the upper right corner, which is that settings, which we've already talked about. Go to accounts and click on add a POP3 mail account you own, and you can then follow the instructions on screen to import your mail. So it's not too complicated to do it, and I've got a picture here for you just kind of showing you what it's talking about under that settings and then accounts and how you can set that up. But go ahead right now and just try to add yourself a new contact. If you do have another Gmail or another email account with someone else, try to import it in there and see how it works out for you. If you're having any problems with this, please don't hesitate to get in contact with me. I do the one-on-one appointments, and we can sit down together and go through this. But this is all about adding contacts and importing stuff from other email accounts.
Now that you have your Gmail account set up, it's time to compose your first email. In the left menu pane, click the Compose button. Now there are three main parts to the email that you'll always need to have. Recipients, which are the people you're sending the email to, a subject, which tells your recipients what the email is about, and the body, which is the actual message. Let's start by adding some recipients. You can type one or more email addresses here, and if you have more than one, they'll need to be separated by commas. If the person is already in your contacts, you can just start typing their name, and it will appear below. And you can press the Enter key or the Tab key to add the person. You can add a lot of email addresses really quickly this way. Another way to add recipients is to click the word To, and then you can select the contacts that you want, and then click Select. For the subject, you can just type something brief that describes what the email is about, and in the body field, you can type your message. Now before we send this email, there are some additional things that we can do. If you click on the recipients, you can add people to the CC or BCC fields, which stand for carbon copy and blind carbon copy. Carbon copy is used a lot in the business world, and it basically just lets the person know that they're not the main recipient while still keeping them in the loop. Blind carbon copy is similar, except it hides the recipient's email address from everyone else. For this email, we don't really need to use either of these. You can also attach a file. For this email, we might want to add a flyer that people can print. You'll be able to see the upload progress here. And it's nice to include a short note just to let your recipients know what the attachment is. Finally, we can add various types of formatting to the body of the email. For example, it would be good to format this web address as a link that people can click on. I'll select it and then hover over the plus sign and click the link button. If you want, you can click Change to change the display text to something different. You can also use these buttons to add other formatting like colors, fonts, and bulleted or numbered lists. Since this email is pretty informal, the colors and fonts help to add some personality to it. But in a more serious email, like a job application, it's better to stick with more traditional formatting. The final step is to click Send. Gmail will send out the email and then close the message window. Now there's one more thing I'd like to mention. Many people like to create a signature that will appear at the end of every email they send. To do this, click the gear icon and select Settings. Then scroll down until you see the signature area. Typically, a signature will include your name and some kind of contact info, like an email address and/or a phone number. But keep in mind that this will be seen by everybody who gets an email from you, so you may not want to include anything too personal, like your home address. If you want, you can add some formatting to your signature. When you're done, scroll down to the bottom of the page and click Save Changes. And now, whenever you compose an email, your signature will appear at the end. When somebody sends you an email, there are a few different things that you can do. In addition to reading the email, you may want to reply to it or forward it to someone else, and it may also have an attachment that you can view or download. Let's start by looking at our inbox. For each message, you'll be able to see the sender, the subject, and maybe a little bit of the body of the message, and also the date that it was sent. If the message is unread, then the text will be bold and the background will be a different color. So these are the messages that I have not read yet, and these are the ones that I have read. I'm going to click on this message so I can read it. You can read the message here, and you can click the drop-down arrow if you want to see more information about who sent the message and who the recipients are. In this case, there is one recipient in the To field and 2 recipients in the Carbon Copy field. After you read the message, you can go back to your inbox, or you can click one of these arrows to view a different message. For really important messages, you may want to add a star by clicking here, and this will help you find the message later on. If you want to respond to a message, you can reply just to the sender, or you can reply to all, which will include all of the original recipients, or you can forward the message to someone else. In this case, I want to reply to all so that everybody stays in the loop. Then you can type your message. If you want to see the original message, you can click here. And when you're done, click Send. Now, if you're emailing back and forth with somebody, Gmail will group those messages into a conversation. And in your inbox, there will be a number that shows how many messages there are in that conversation. If you want to expand a specific message, you can just click on it, and then you can click in this area again to minimize it. Conversations keep your inbox from getting too cluttered with lots of separate messages, and it's also just nice to be able to see the whole conversation at once. Sometimes you may receive an email that has an attachment, and these messages will have a paperclip icon next to them. In this case, the attachment is a Word document, and we have the option of viewing it in the browser or downloading it. but with some file types you'll only have the download option. Now you should be careful when opening attachments. Some files may contain viruses, so if you don't know why someone is sending you an attachment, or if it just looks suspicious, it's best not to open it. If you use Gmail at work, you may sometimes need to set up a vacation reply, which will automatically respond to emails while you're away. You can do this by going to your settings. Scroll down until you see the vacation responder, and then you can type in a message. When someone sends you an email, this message will automatically be sent to them to let them know that you're unable to answer emails. You may want to include a phone number where you can be reached, or the name and email address of somebody else that they can contact while you're away. Also, you may want to only send a response to people in your contacts to avoid giving your whereabouts and contact info to complete strangers. When you're done, click Save Changes. When your vacation reply is active, you'll see this bar at the top of the screen, and you can just click End Now to turn off the vacation reply. So those are some of the different ways that you can respond to emails using Gmail. After you've been using Gmail for a while, your inbox may start to get cluttered with lots of different messages. So we're going to look at some ways to bring some organization to your inbox. Next to each message, you'll see a checkbox, and you can use these to select specific messages, or you can use the checkbox at the top to select or deselect all of them. If you want to get rid of messages, you can delete them, and if they're spam messages, then you can report spam, which will delete them, and it will also help Gmail filter out those types of messages in the future. But most of the time, you won't need to delete messages. Instead, you can archive them, which takes them out of your inbox, but puts them in a place where you can still get to them if you need to. So this option is much safer than deleting them. To see your archived messages, go to the left menu pane, click More, and go to All Mail. This will show everything that's in your inbox as well as all of your archived mail. To hide your archived mail, you can just go back to your inbox. You can also delete or archive a message while you're viewing it. You'll have the same options that you have when you're viewing your inbox, so it's really up to you how you want to manage your messages. Now, Gmail has a really great feature called labels, which you can use to organize your messages. Labels are a lot like folders, except you can apply more than one label to a message. And you can also create your own labels. For example, some of these emails are family related, so I'm going to apply a label to them. If you go to the Labels button, you can place a check mark next to one or more existing labels, or you can create a new one. Type a name for the label, and then click Create. And I'm going to click this top checkbox to deselect all of these. And there's now a family label next to each of these messages, and the label also appears in the left menu pane. And if you don't see it, you can click More to see the rest of your labels. To make your labels easier to see, you can color code them. Click the drop-down arrow next to the name and choose the color that you want. If you click the name of a label, then Gmail will just show the messages that have that label. And this can be very useful if you have lots of emails to sort through. Labels are the key to keeping your emails organized, and you can add any labels you want to create an organizational system that works for you. In this video, we're going to talk about two features that you can use to manage your mail: filters, which can automatically sort your mail for you, and the search mail feature, which you can use to find a specific message. Let's start by creating a filter. The first thing you should do is decide which types of messages you'd like to filter. In this example, I get a lot of emails from Facebook, and I'd like to automatically label all of the messages that they send me. I'll select one of the Facebook messages, and then click More, and filter messages like these. Here you can choose the search criteria that you want. You can filter based on the sender, the subject, or keywords that appear anywhere in the message. Now, it's already put in some criteria for me based on the message that I selected a moment ago. If you need to, you can change any of these criteria. For example, I know Facebook sends emails from several different addresses, so I'm going to change this to Facebook to make sure it catches all of the emails they send me. When you're done, click Create Filter with this search. Here you'll need to choose one or more actions that you want Gmail to take when a message fits the search criteria. I want it to apply the Facebook label, and I also want to archive it so it won't appear in my inbox. I'm going to place a check mark here so it will filter all of my existing messages that fit the criteria. And then click Create Filter. Now to view all of my Facebook emails, I can just click on the Facebook label. If you ever need to modify a filter, click on the gear icon to go into your settings, and then click Filters. And here you can edit or delete any of your existing filters. Now let's say that you received an important message a few months ago, and now you need to find it again. Instead of scrolling through all of your messages, you can use the Gmail search box to find it. Just type some search terms, and then click the search button, and your results will appear below. If you don't see your message here, then you can try different search terms, or you can click the drop-down arrow to do an advanced search. So filtering and searching your mail are really useful features, and once you get used to using them, you'll always be able to find your important messages when you need them.
Alright, so what about those mobile devices that we have? No matter what kind of mobile device you use, it's easy to send and receive Gmail messages on the go. In this section, I'm going to show you how to set up a Gmail with the native email application on your device, and we'll also talk about using the official Gmail app for the iPhone and the Android. So if you have a mobile device, there are two main ways to access your Gmail account. Option 1 would be the native email app on your device. If you have multiple email accounts through different email providers, such as a personal email and a work email, you may find that the native email application to be more convenient as it allows you to view and manage all of your messages in one place. The option 2 is the official Gmail mobile app. This is available for iOS and Android. If you're already an experienced Gmail user, you may prefer using the official Gmail app. The app looks and feels very similar to the desktop version, and it does include some custom Gmail features that may not be available in the native email app on your device. So to set up a Gmail with the native email app, in this example we'll explain how to sync a Gmail account with the Mail app for iOS devices like the iPhone and the iPad. Now keep in mind that this process may vary depending on your device. So first off, in that very first picture, you would navigate to the email settings on your device and then select Add Account. And you can see that we've done that there. And then number 2, you're going to select Google, and that's right there in the middle. Follow the instructions to connect your account. When you're done, you'll be able to send and receive emails from your Gmail account in the Mail app. So there it is, and that's how you would add it. And to get to this on your iDevice, you would actually go into your settings, and then you would be able to, and then click on Mail, Contacts, and Calendars, and there is where you would be able to add that in there. So this is all about how you can add Gmail account to your iDevice. Why don't you go ahead right now, if you have an iDevice, minimize or pause this video and just kind of go in and see about adding that new Gmail account that you just created in this class to your iDevice. Gmail on the Android is a little bit different than using the Gmail on the iDevice. The app would be the same and the way that it functions would be the same. However, if you have an Android already, you've probably already created a Gmail account, because part of the setup process of having an Android is creating a Gmail account because of that Google Play Store. So it's a little bit easier on an Android than it would be on an iDevice, although it's not hard either way. But getting yourself familiar with that Android device is pretty important. So go ahead, if you have an Android device, and if you haven't logged into your Gmail on there, go ahead and open it up and get yourself logged in, and it's going to be the same account information that you created when you created the account to begin with at the beginning of setting up the setup process of your Android. So this is all about the Gmail on Android, and again, this is a little bit easier than the iDevices. So I'd like to give you a quick overview of Gmail for the Android and Gmail for the iPhone. While the interface for these apps is somewhat different, you'll notice that each app gives you the access to the same basic features. So here we've got our gold dots again, like we've seen before, and we're just going to kind of go through them briefly. This gold dot is your menu. You would tap here or swipe right to access your folders, switch between accounts, and more. This one here is to compose. This is where you would create yourself a new email message. This is to search for the inbox or some particular piece of mail. These are your settings. You can tap here to access your account settings. You can also refresh your inbox, edit your label settings, and more. And this section here is your inbox. So you would just simply tap a message in your inbox to open it. From there you can reply or forward the message. You can also swipe left to archive a message. So this is the actual interface for the Android Gmail. So we were able to go through that. Now let's take a look at the iPhone. So this is what the iPhone interface would look like if you had the Gmail downloaded from your App Store. And we're just going to kind of go through these dots like we did the Android. And this is your menu. So you would tap here or swipe right to see your folders, access your settings, and more. Here's where you can tap to search for a piece of mail that's in your inbox. Here is where you can compose to create that new message to send out. And then, of course, your inbox. And you can simply tap a message in your inbox to open it from there. You can reply or forward the message. You can also swipe left and then tap archive to archive the message. So you can clearly see the differences between the Android and the iPhone. However, the features are pretty much the same. The setup may look a little different, but your features are the same. And I wanted you to see the comparison of those. This is the first time that I've ever included a little quiz at the end of our class, and this is just because I want you to make sure that you're familiar with the things that we talked about today. So if you want to pause this video and just kind of answer some of these questions in your mind, or maybe get yourself a scratch piece of paper and write down what you think they may be. And this is just getting you familiar with Gmail and all the things that we've talked about in class today. Alright, so how did you do? Go ahead and compare your answers to the actual answers that I've put here for you, and hopefully you've had a better understanding of Gmail, and giving you this quiz is just a little bit more of a confirmation for you. So congratulations! Okay, well, phew, let's take a deep breath. Thank you for being a part of the class. It's all over. Without you, there'd be no reason for me to have these classes, so take a deep breath. You did it, and now you're one step closer to understanding Gmail. Make sure, again, to listen for that secret code in this class. This is a part of the Computer Class Pass Incentive Program. Get the code to me either by calling, emailing me, or stopping in to see me, and then you're on your way to prizes. Again, there's several classes out there that I've done, so take a look at some of our stream classes that are being offered, and I can't thank you enough for being a part of learning Gmail. I want to thank the following websites for their pictures and information. Without their pictures and information, we would not have been able to have this class.